Okay, so CM Punk decides that it's not good enough to be feuding with Chris Jericho for WrestleMania and Daniel Bryan on the past couple episodes of Raw and SmackDown, and pretty much Laurinaitis and Triple H and everybody out there. So he goes, you know what? Another target, Chris Brown. And he starts talking about how Chris Brown is, not to put words in his mouth, but I don't remember exactly what Punk said, uh, that it's like pathetic and he should never have hit Rihanna and all that kind of stuff. Agreed. I think we can all agree on that. Just
Mm-hmm.
you know, uh, but the more interesting parts of this, Punk got a reply from Chris Brown saying that he was roided up and doesn't know how to pleasure a woman and all this. And Punk took great offense to that because of the whole straight edge lifestyle that he has, and talked about how he wants to curb stomp Chris Brown, and he'd like to do that where the proceeds can go to a women's charity of his choosing, and he's going to choke him out. It's not going to be a fair fight, all this kind of stuff, which it wouldn't. I mean, Punk's a professional wrestler. Uh, Brown says he misses the old wrestlers, and then hashtag not no punks, which for some reason trends. Let's
We
talk about
all
that for a
know the
little bit.
reason.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What's the reason? What do you think?
Because stupid, ignorant little fuck shits out there who'd rather be basically sticking their fucking children in front of a TV than actually being a proper parent are sitting there listening to this little fucking wife beater go on about his personal life and sit there and go, oh my god, Chris Brown is totality and he's had a fucking hard life, blah, blah, blah. His daddy was a pedo, blah, blah. The end of the day, right? Who gives a fucking shit? The guy did something wrong. He's an entertainer and he beat the fucking shit out of a girl. I don't care if she deserved it or not. That's neither here or there. You beat the crap out of someone where they had to go to hospital. And at the point, the only remorse you showed for it was coming on TV with a fucking bow tie on, sitting there with Larry King, pretending to feel sorry for yourself. And then when anyone attempted to ask you a fucking question, you threw your shirt off and threw a fucking chair and had a hissy fit like a little bitch child that you are, right? And then you got all these brain dead little shitheads following him, accepting him back into their lives like he's done nothing wrong,
Oh,
right?
yeah. And who could forget like the people on Twitter, like all his like 14 to 18-year-old like female fans going off. If I was Chris Brown's girlfriend, I'd let him beat me. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Do you know what
Like,
I mean?
that's so
Common
acceptable that you
sense.
want that happening to you? Like, are
Right.
you crazy or
Well,
something?
that's when we just have to hope that these people get the shit kicked out of them to the point where either they don't exist anymore and there's none of these people left in the world and we can fucking move on with
Please,
civilization,
please. You know what?
Please.
or if
Go
they
to
get some
child
sense beaten into them.
services, give up your children because you shouldn't be parents. And for those of you who are kids, make sure your mum and dad take away your fucking shit and get your tubes tied so you don't procreate. Because my God, you're probably the same idiots that voted for fucking George Bush, aren't you? 'Cause what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Right.
It's like those idiots that went to go and visit Raoul Moat's fucking death site like it was some sort of fucking field trip when the guy massacred people. Brown beat someone up. He shows no remorse for it. He runs around like he's fucking cocky, like he's the cock of the walk and he can get any woman that wants him.
And he's
There's a
winning
reason.
Grammys on top
E-
of that. Grammy
exactly.
on Grammy.
And the fact is that the Grammy Association even recognizes this little shit. You give him more momentum. This is the reason why guys like Punk made a gesture. And I know this all started because one person asked Punk a question and said, "Hey, what do you think of Chris Brown?" Punk said something. Someone then went back to Chris Brown and said, "Oh, this guy's saying something about you," and then it went from there. So I know, like a fucking internet fan instigated it, but the same thing goes. People need to get their fucking brains on because seriously, if this is our future, then this country is doomed. America's doomed. You know what? Bring on the zombie apocalypse because there's nothing else left. You know,
Well, not to mention, he said what that he misses the real wrestler. What the hell does Chris Brown know about wrestling? On top of that, I'm pretty sure he
exactly.
doesn't know a whole lot. I bet the people he listed. I forget who they were, but they were all from the '80s. It seems like he just like searched like WWF wrestlers or something on Google, and like the first like 5 people that popped up, he just decided, okay, I'm gonna put that on Twitter.
The only two I
I bet,
remember offhand were Bret Hart and Hulk Hogan.
And
yeah,
Hacksaw
like
Jim Duggan.
Hacksaw was one of them.
Yep.
Was Ultimate Warrior? I don't remember.
No,
uh,
no, he didn't mention Warrior because if he did, then honestly. But you know what? 2 out of 3 of those guys were steroided wrestlers. I just want to point that out to the motherfucking moron that's Chris Brown. 2 of those guys were steroided wrestlers, and you call Punk steroided? Have you looked at the guy's physique?
Hmm.
You know, there's more chance of Chris Brown being steroided up than CM Punk because the fact that steroids invokes temper tantrums, and he's probably got a small penis at that as well.
but yeah, as I was saying, I bet he knows like jack shit about wrestling.
Right.
So
He probably
who
knows
is
about
he?
as much about wrestling as I do about non-wrestling sports.
Yeah,
He
pretty
probably
much me
knows
too.
as
It's
much
like me
about
saying like
wrestling
I'm a
as he does about
hockey or
life.
like soccer expert or something like that.
Right.
Well, I miss the real hockey players or I miss the real soccer players, even though I don't know shit about those sports.
Yeah, I miss the real hockey players like Wayne Gretzky and
Or
Claire.
or
Who,
even worse, like I miss the real rappers. Chris Brown, how about that? Huh?
But the thing is,
I
Chris
hate
Brown
rap.
is not a rapper. He's not a rapper and he's not a singer. He's a little prick that basically, the only reason he's actually became popular again is because everyone is into fucking trance music and he's getting in on it.
Hmm.
Right? At the end of the day, when it comes down to it, as soon as those retards grow up and probably get themselves shot or put in jail after trying to rob somebody,
or they just find somebody else who can beat them if they're a big fan of that they would let Chris Brown beat them. But you know what?
exactly,
I- If
then
you're talking about that, look, as annoying as Rihanna's music sometimes is, it's still not justified. I mean, I think she's overrated in her looks. I think she's overrated in her music, but you still don't beat the shit out of the girl, especially if you're involved with her romantically. I mean,
Uh,
come on.
CM Punk said it best. Like when you're in some sort of, even if it was like a heated situation between the two, he's like the best thing to do, for a normal person or a normal man is just walk away.
Right.
there you
You
go.
don't just go Wah! And
Yeah.
snap and just, beat the shit out of a female like that.
All
You
you
know,
do
I,
is
I,
you
Exactly.
I get that it was 3 years ago, but I guess that's his whole point is that, it's 3 years later and he hasn't suffered any repercussions for it. And in fact, he's been praised over it from his idiotic fangirls,
There
it
you go.
seems. And he's winning Grammys and acting like a total D-bag.
Yes.
So I get why Punk called him out, but it is WrestleMania season, and I just think it's a Twitter feud or whatever, viral feud that just kind of needs to die down.
well, you know WWE is loving this.
Yeah,
Oh,
of
I bet
course they're
they
loving
are.
it. They're probably the one who sent the message to Brown that Punk was talking about him.
Probably.
And they're promoting the shit out of it on their website too.
They
By the
could
way,
Yeah.
be.
even on live SmackDown there the other night, they pumped the shit out of that Twitter feud
Yeah. Well,
on the.
maybe they
You know,
figured they can't get Shaq this year for WrestleMania, so they'll get Chris Brown.
I
at the
don't
end of
want
the
him
day,
anywhere near the WWE title match. I'm sure
exactly.
Jericho probably wouldn't feel too happy if his manager was Chris Brown
They
for
can
the
do they can do
WWE.
like a music mashup of Fozzy and Chris Brown, and it'll be the two Chris's that CM
God.
Punk hates.
The two Chris's versus Punk. Oh God.
The, the girl beat a connection
Like
because
if
Chris
people are
actually
already
punched the girl in the
complaining about
face.
how
If
this
you remember.
feud has started, throwing Chris Brown in there is probably not going to make it any better.
Well, I'm looking forward to all the Chris Brown fans going ape shit on the comment section like they tend to do sometimes. So
Well, you know what? I'm just going to say something before they even say anything. Fuck you, you retarded fuck. Right? If you've got something to say something to my fucking face. Because a lot of you, if you like Chris Brown, then you're a fucking retard.
My
Okay?
sentiments
tell us how you really
exactly
feel.
match.
I will write that in the comment section. Write a comment, and I'll come straight on that section, and I'll write a rebuttal. You know what a rebuttal is? If you can fucking spell, you fucking twats.
All right, so let's end this before we get even worse. If they keep this feud going on, then I'm sure we'll talk about it again next week. Because what the hell? We have
It's
nothing better
probably
to
going to
do.
be Michael Burhan versus the Chris Brown fanatics. I can just see it.
So now we're going to go into Elimination Chamber talk. And I'm not too sure at the moment if I'm breaking this up into multiple segments. So if I am, then this should just be part 5. And if not, then it'll be 5 and onward. But double check, and we'll see you in a minute.